All right. So yeah, we're here today to first of all talk about the two books that Gabriele made, I guess, because the first one is mostly pictures.
Really
the first one is called 14 Anni. This is the one. I think it's sold out everywhere, but tonight we got a few copies.
Yeah.
Can you tell us just a little bit about the?
Yeah. So basically, I always archive the pictures since 2016, I think. And I always been passionate about Gabber culture, Gabber music, stuff like that. And I've always been into photography as well. So I always tend to take everything that I see from old website, old pages that are not really used anymore. And with that, it was 4 or 5 years that I wanted to do a book like that.
Right.
And finally, 3 years ago, I started to put all shit together, and I started to make a layout for this book. And
then the second one, Italia 2000. So the first one is mostly visual. This one is mostly text.
The first one, it was just pictures, archive pictures.
Yeah.
And the second one are anecdotes and stories from people that were raving and going to hardcore parties back in the 90s, between 97 and 2007.
Yeah, because you were compelled maybe to collect those, I guess, testimonies because you didn't live through the actual golden age.
No, I never lived. I started to go to parties in 2007, 2008 when I was very young. So.
And when was the golden age? What years?
The golden age, I think it was between 97 and 2002, in Italy at least.
Yeah, because we're gonna we talked about this. Yeah. There were two major scenes in Gabber, right?
Yeah.
So can you tell us a little bit? Two countries. I guess this is our shit. It's fine.
So basically, we have the first hardcore was born in Germany. The first DJ was Mark Arcadipane, which brought the hardcore in Holland.
Right.
And from 92, 93, the hardcore scene started to develop a lot in Holland. Until 95, 96, where the Stunned guys from Traxtorm Records, a record label, started to go to Holland to show their music and what they were doing. And between 97 and 98, it also arrived in Italy. So it was a kind of the same wave as the Dutch one, with some different style code, and yeah, it was mainly focused in the north of Italy. There was something also in Rome, but it was not very popular. People from Rome were coming to the north to party.
Okay, and can you tell us a little bit? I know quite little about Gabber coming to meet you, but I knew about Thunderdome. I guess it was maybe one of the bigger things. Can you introduce it to people? Thunderdome is the
biggest festival and one of the first from Holland. Yes.
And you get some merch from it, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
All right. So going back to you being a kid, you told me that when you were a child, you'd go and you would see Gabbers.
Yeah. I was always seeing Gabbers in my little hometown in Italy, and I was always fascinating them, but I didn't really know that they were part of. I didn't know that they were Gabbers. I knew how they look, but I didn't know which music they were listening to, which kind of party they were going to, and
but you were already fascinated with the look. And
absolutely.
Can you define what was it you were seeing from the shoes up?
But me, I started to be very passionate about the sneakers since I was really 4 or 5 years old. Mm-hmm. And my mom keeps every time we talk about shoes, because still I buy a lot. she always tell me that she always been able to buy me one pair of shoes only. And after that, I was always choosing which pair of shoes I wanted to buy. So that came from there because the Air Max BW were the main shoes for Gabbers.
So you were seeing a lot of kids wearing them.
Yeah, when I was going to the center of Bergamo every Saturday with my grandma. Because my parents were always working, and Saturday afternoon I was always staying with her, and we were always walking to the center. And in the center back then, you had like a different spot in the city where you could find like punks, gabbers, like house people,
sure, like skaters
and stuff like that. And I always been fascinated by Gabbers because I was going always to Foot Locker, and the ones that they were always buying Air Max and stuff, it was them. So it was.
Yeah, let's talk about that fascination with shoes and Nike shoes, especially. So can you tell us about the main models? I think there were differences maybe between Netherlands and Italy.
In Netherlands, they pretty much always used the Air Max BW and Air Max 95. And Italians, they always used the Air Max 95 and Air Max BW and TNs. I never got to know why this difference, but TNs were never really used in the Netherlands.
And why the BW? I guess it's the most iconic.
It was BW. It stands for big windows, so it was like the most comfortable shoe actually to Ake, which is like the Gabber dance.
Of course, yeah.
And so they were like very, very comfortable. It was one of the first pair of Air Max because they are from '91, and people started to wear them, and they were like starting to do like million colorways and stuff. So I think also that's the reason why, because Gabber's always been like very dark on top of very colorful on the bottom. So they were like that pair of shoes that everyone wanted because it was like it was giving something
Just like wearing all black and then having some super loud shoes.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Okay, and then in terms of like clothing, so obviously there's like the bomber jacket.
Bomber jacket is like the main, I think the main article, the main item that reflect Gabbers. You know, it's like the main thing, like the piece of our subculture, which was taken from other subculture.
And why? Yeah, from like skinhead culture, right? I think Gabber sometimes like it does look a little bit like skinhead culture, right? Yeah.
Yeah, like different way of fitting it and stuff, but yeah.
Yeah, because you mentioned that was really interesting. That like the skinheads were always wearing bombers very tight, close to the body. Yeah,
exactly.
And the Gabbers were like oversized.
Always kind of oversized and different kind of way of wearing it, like with belly button jeans and stuff like that.
And more like streetwear, maybe not so like denim underneath.
Yeah. Also, yeah.
Super interesting. And why also the jacket? Like, was it also for like, I don't know, like comfort or like technical reasons?
Yeah, I mean, back in the days, and now bomber jackets, they worth so much for like hardcore label and stuff like that. But back in the days, they were like just an item that you could buy for like the quite cheap price. And the bomber was like that thing that you were wearing it in any kind of situation, weather situation.
All right. Yeah, I was thinking, we talked about like Daniel Poole and like the safety garments aspect. The bomber was kind of like that. It kept you warm when you were exiting the party, maybe a little high or something.
Now it's quite a different thing because no one really wears it while partying because always afraid to get it destroyed or something.
Yeah, because they're super collectible.
And the more they sell out, the less there are, because we are not talking about something like a big brand like Nike or Adidas that they were like producing so much. Those were still just like party
made by the
merch.
labels,
Yeah,
and those were
exactly.
sold at the clubs, right?
Those were sold at the clubs, outside the clubs. It depends about which event it was. Yeah.
Right. And then, so what are you wearing under that bomber, man?
I'm wearing an Australian jacket.
Can you tell me about Australian jackets? What's up with that?
My only jackets that I wear like since years. So Australian always been part of the Gabber culture because it always had like a very bright and it was always quite colorful and with a lot of drawings and stuff like that. A little bit out of the box from what it was going on in those years in those subcultures.
And that started in Netherlands, right? And
Yeah.
you told me also there was like a difference between Netherlands and Italy in terms of
in Netherlands they
colors.
always wear like more literally like tracksuit. It's more like about comfort, plain color with a little bit of drawings and stuff like that.
Yeah.
While Italians, they started to, like Australian as a brand, started to produce something just for the Italian market and something just for the Dutch market. So the Italian ones are completely different, like full print stuff, and the Dutch one the opposite.
And these are also very collectible nowadays.
Absolutely.
Can you say something maybe about like the graphic style of Gabber?
Like the graphic always been like very. I mean, of course, they are all from the 90s, and every kind of subculture in the 90s, like skaters, punks, they always had like a certain way of drawing things and stuff like that. And the stuff that now you don't.
Yeah, like some skate brands could look a little similar and stuff like that. Yeah,
absolutely, yeah.
But it's kind of a fuck you attitude. It's a bit provocative.
Yeah, very provocative.
Cartoonish.
Yeah. Very mean also, like
like
from exactly
the teeth, glowing the teeth and stuff. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. It reminds me kind of. It's different, but like metal, looking for provocative symbols, to annoy parents and stuff. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
All right, and then so all those elements and this like fixation on certain things. I don't know how to make this sentence, but it gave way to like people referencing all that, right, in fashion, like.
Yeah, absolutely. Like
could you name
Raf Simon in the spring summer 2000 that took like it was actually the second wave of hardcore and gabbers, and it was like gabber stuff taken from big brands and for so much money and inspiration.
Yeah, can we comment on that show for a little bit? Like, so he did bomber jackets. That bomber jacket that I just showed. What was it referencing?
The reference is from one of the main hardcore DJs group, which are Rotterdam Terror Corps, and that jacket from Ralph Simmons has been taken as I mean, he got inspired from them with the logo and stuff, and he made it in its own way. And
and then in the show it's a lot of weird haircuts, but I guess that was just created, right? What was the hairstyle?
I mean, the haircut part, I think it was also just not only gabbers, but it was just that period of time because like everyone was like
partying.
Yeah, exactly, and that haircut, it stays more into that frame of years and not only in the gabber culture.
Right. So the gabber hairstyle was like a shaved head.
Yeah, mainly shaved head, and girls with the shaved with the double cut.
Yeah. So the girl haircut kind of looked like a girl skinhead haircut.
Yeah,
almost.
kind of. Yeah. I mean, with the difference than skinhead always worked also a lot on the front and on the sides, while gabber girls always just kept like mostly just the back of the head. Some were also doing sides also. But yeah, that was like a very recognizable thing. I mean, I remember that when I was a kid, I was quite scared about the girls and not about the guys.
Right.
And yeah, because they just looked very mean, you know.
It's a very aggressive style.
Yeah, but then when I started like to go to school and see a lot of girls like that and a lot of guys like that, then I was like, okay, like it started to be more like a comfort zone feeling, you know.
Yeah. So just going back to Raf, like referencing Gabber, I guess the main thing he used was the bomber jacket. Famously, like the Riot bomber is worth like 50K or something. Okay, but later, also we talked about another designer who was influenced by Gabber. We feel. Can you name him?
You mean you don't mean Balenciaga and Puma?
No. Well, I do mean yeah, Demna. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Demna always like. I mean, lately started to take like elements from the Gabber scene and start to like rework them in its own way. But of course, like in a lot of runways, you can see like pieces from different brands that are taken actually from the Gabber scene. And
yeah, and for like Demna, Advetma and Balenciaga, I think like the cap, because we forgot to talk about caps. The cap and the way of wearing it, so it's basically a dad cap and it's really scrunched up, right? Yeah. The way he used it, he styled it, that was super Gabber thing, right?
And also the fact of always kind of ruining them in the front, like doing it on purpose, you know. But like many other brands does it to sell like broken clothes and stuff, which actually from back in the days it was done. It was the result of like wearing it a lot during parties and in a bit weird situations that we don't want to talk about.
Do we have anything else to mention about the fashion aspect? Should we move on to like clubs and music, or?
Fashion aspect is that I mean the other day you asked me if I was like fine to see brands taking elements from a subculture, and I'm like, I'm fine, of course. It depends in which way, because if we see like the new Balenciaga and Puma collection, Gabber inspired, it has nothing to do.
That was like the epileptic guy dancing in a tracksuit.
Nothing to do with Gabbers, because from the dance to the music to the looks, they just look like football players, you know. So I don't really know how. That's what pissed me off. Like when you take something from a subcultures and you don't make it work in the way that it should. Like if they were looking like Gabbers and you take like a bomber jacket and some elements that has something more to do with it, then it will be fine. But to describe and put like the Gabber name out there and
they
then
actually use the word.
Yeah.
Okay.
They did because I mean they wrote me for a casting there.
Oh, really?
And and then when I saw the result, I was like, no.
Yeah,
I mean, as long as it's true to what the subculture looks like, it can be funny and it can be something. But if you put a name and then you destroy what you make, it's
inauthentic. Yeah.
Exactly.
All right, so moving on to, I want you to tell me, I read the book, Italia says in the second one, and you talk a lot about Club Number One.
Yeah.
And you have a t-shirt here from me. Can you tell me a little bit about Number One? It seems an amazing place.
Number One, it's like the biggest hardcore club in Italy.
And still going today, right?
Still going today, yeah. I mean, when I can, I go from here, and it's like the safe place, you know. It's like where every Gabbers goes, not necessarily just from Italy, but they all come also from France, from Holland, from Germany. if there is like a big parties with like a good lineup. And it's like the most historical club because you have like a room 2, which is the one dedicated just to hardcore. But sometimes they do also hardcore festivals, and you have 7 rooms in total in the club. 3 are outdoor and 4 are like inside. And it's like the craziest club ever, because I mean, back in the days when they were doing like big Gabber parties, Sunday night and until Saturday night until Sunday evening, it was like a 24 hours Gabber party, and there was like a pool and stuff like that. It was like a big thing. Now it's still, but they obviously don't do that much party, like they do 1 party per month or something like that.
Is the scene still as big as it used to be?
It is. It is since like 3-4 years. It got back. I mean, with new Gabbers, with new generations,
Yeah.
but you still also see the old ones. So like you still like see 40 years, 50 years people that were going in the 90s and the early 2000s going back again now.
Because in the 90s, and I was pretty shocked to hear that the music was almost mainstream. It was playing on radio.
In Italy, yes, but I think also in Holland. I mean, I'm pretty sure in Holland and also in Italy, because I mean, when I was a kid, it was like the big boom of hardcore music in Italy. So you could hear hardcore everywhere, even if you didn't care, if you didn't know what it was. But it was always in the playlist. No, not in the playlist, but those like
Compilations.
yeah, compilations that you were buying, like every summer compilation or something like that. And every time you were going also like to church and stuff, or to school, at the end of the year you do like a dance or like a party, and some tracks were hardcore, were like Traxxon records and stuff. Yeah. Because back in the days it was like a thing that you could listen also in the radio in Italy.
And it was on TV, even in Netherlands, no?
It was
like,
in TV. MTV did some stuff about it. Yeah. It was pretty big.
So yeah, so it's not that mainstream anymore, right? I guess. Yeah.
No, but I mean, now it's more like a hard style, hard techno thing, like this wave that came from Berlin. Yeah. It's that can be called more mainstream now. Right. But yeah, it has nothing to do with the hardcore for me.
All right. So going back to number 1, you told me about something called the pyramid. I think that's.
Yeah.
Can you tell me about that?
But so basically, in '97, at this number 1 club in Brescia, which is in the north of Italy, another subculture took shape in the club, and they were like those hardcore warriors, which they were like the most outsider, I would say, like from Gabbers. Like look-wise, they didn't have anything to do with the Gabbers.
Because the Gabber guy was like super masculine, kind of like you right now. And,
yeah, like bomber jacket, jeans or tracksuit, and bald head. And hardcore warriors, they were like they are still like with the spikes and super colorful clothes. They never really wear black, and they are the only ones.
And then platform shoes, right?
And platform shoes,
platform shoes, spiky hair,
buffalo shoes, because that's like the warrior look. They do like they do the pogo from like
so like in punk music, right? Like punk music. Like,
exactly, yeah. They do the pogo, and then at the end of the night, when the light of the club start to switch on. They create a sort of pyramid to reach the ceiling, and it's like every time that someone touch the ceiling, it's like the winner of the night. Yeah.
All right, and can you tell me about other clubs? Maybe I think Rome also.
Yeah, there was like a scene in Rome. But I mean, the guys from Rome, they were never. I mean, a big part of them, they were never really well seen because they were the ones coming to number to steal shit. Like it was like a very dangerous play. I mean, it was a beautiful environment, but at the same time very dangerous back in the late 90s, early 2000, because like people were stealing a lot. They were like doing shit. Like I know like people that at the station, like a kilometer from the club. People were waiting for them, like other gabbers were waiting for them, or even fake gabbers, because back then in Italy there were like a lot of people dressing like gabbers, but they were just trying to steal shit and
of course, you're actually
stuff.
reminding me of the whole scooters thing, right?
Yeah.
So scooters seem to be a very important part of Italian gabber.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes.
In your book, it's always like people stealing a scooter to get to club number one.
Yeah. I mean, people back then, they really used to, I mean, it's not like now that they were taking Ubers or stuff, but people back then, they were like taking their own scooter and going to clubs, something that I will never do now, because I will be like all night thinking about like my bike and stuff. But back then, yes. And if there was a need of stealing it to go to a party, they were doing it. Yeah.
All right. So scooters were another big fixation, just like sneakers, right? Can you tell me a bit about that, like customizing scooters and stuff?
But a scooter was like the highlight back in the 90s and the early 2000s for like 13, 14 years people, because when you were turning 14, you could start to have your own scooter, and that's everything that people, like little kids, were dreaming about back then. And they were spending just afternoons listening to music, hardcore and because like every teenager was passionate about it, and to pimp the scooter, like graphic-wise, engine-wise.
And that was just in Italy. That was not in the Netherlands, right?
No, there was also, as long as I know, like a thing in the Netherlands, more like in with Muppets. Okay. But yeah, I mean, I know the Italian one, because I mean I've been into it, and they were like big groups. So like every day you could see, like I remember my mom always getting pissed because there was like a friend of mine in front of my parents' place that was like going around with the scooter like after school until dinner time, and then dinner, and then after dinner restarting like super loud, because they were like all modified and stuff, and we were like always big groups of people.
Yeah, that brings me also to like the very working class aspect of that culture, right? Those were not
absolutely
the bourgeoisie. It was
Gabber's always been a working class people movement and subcultures. They were born from never from the center or the main city. Like they were not born in Milan, for example. I mean, there were some Gabbers from Milan, but everything was born in the outskirts, in the less comfortable situations, you know, like kids after school, they were just like going to listen to the music at the park and bring their own scooter and smoking joint.
Yeah, I was going to talk about drugs. So I guess drugs is a part of the culture. Can you say a little thing about that? I guess, what was the main drug?
But main drugs for Gabbers always been ecstasy and coke also to dance, and but I mean, as much as I know or seen, it's nothing more or less than other kind of party, you know. It's
of course.
I mean, not that I've been to that many parties, non-Gabbers, but yeah, what I've seen in like pop music clubs, I have seen it also in Gabber stuff, yeah.
And then can you say something about the music? Because at one point I was doing the flyer and I wrote hardcore techno, and you told me that was wrong. So can you explain that to me?
Yeah, I mean, now there is a lot of hard combined with a lot of other words, because I think it's a bit the trend now. It's like since a couple of years, like hard music started to be a bit the thing that you can hear in a lot of clubs. But the hardcore has like a lot of shades, you know, like it's.
Where does it come from? Is it born of techno or not at all?
But it's coming from techno and electro mixed together, and
But played way faster. Is that
but
it?
played way faster, yeah, because hardcore like usually goes from like 150 up. I mean, everyone says that hardcore is like 180, but yeah, you can have a lot of tracks also for like 140, 150, yeah.
Right. And can you say just one last thing about the dances in Gabber?
Yeah, I mean it's a very fast dance that it works like you have to. It starts from your heel to the point of your feet, and it has to actually match with the BPM and
it's very,
the
very
beat
fast.
So it's. I mean, it depends about the track, but yeah, I mean, it's a fast dance for sure. Yeah.
All right. I think I've talked enough. I'm wondering if you guys have any questions in the audience.
So you told us about when you were little and like you were attracted by Gabber culture, but can you explain like the day when you became, I don't know, you fallen in love really into it, like the first day you came to a party and you was mesmerized or something, or the inverse? The contrary.
Yeah. I mean, there was. I mean, the first party I did. I don't remember that much, but I remember that I started to get into it through like cassette and little compilation from classmates back then, and like friends of classmates or brothers and cousins, like older. And that's actually where I got the connection between the looks that I was seeing with the music. Like then I was like, okay, those guys are like that because they are part of this group and they are listening to that music. And the first party was like, I was a bit scared because I was seeing like those pictures and videos from like a few years back, because my first party was like in 2007 and I was seeing like videos from 2001, 2002 where like, yeah, it was not very, like you couldn't tell your parents that you were going to an hardcore party because they were like, it's like too much drugs, too much dangerous people and stuff like that. So I went a bit scared at first, but then it was like very nice. But I mean, I was always like with a couple of friends in the corner, you know. I never really been into the main scene, into the main groups, because I mean, of course, I was also little, so I had to be careful.
Anyone else?
Hi, what's your favorite hardcore track?
Every time they ask me these questions, I'm like, it's difficult. If we want to stay like very mainstream, let's say, it's like the one I grew up with. So it's like a Thrill Seeker from Stunned Guys, but it's like a very... It's like something that kind of everyone knows, or like Dirty Motherfucker from Digital Boy. Yeah, those are like Io Sono Vivo from the Stunned Guys again. It's like something that I didn't know it was hardcore, but I knew it was just there in the compilations of like I think it was like a summer 2000 Italian compilation, together with every biggest Italian artist, you know. So yeah, I would say like it's not like my favorite, because I cannot really choose my favorite, but they are like the one I'm more like affectionate to. I don't know, something that I have, like, I'm affectionate to them, yeah.
All right, anyone else?
I have two questions. Do you still go to parties? And how do you see the scene evolved back then versus now, especially with the social media?
Yeah. I mean, the scenes evolved like a lot. And I mean, in a way, I'm like happy that it evolved. In the other hand, it's like, I mean, when things evolve, there are also a lot of fakes, you know. So, but which is like part of the game. So I'm fine. Like, yeah, and yeah, I still go to parties, not as much as when I was living in Italy. But I mean, when I can, I just go like to number one in Brescia. And sometimes, I mean, I've tried to go to Holland for the last multi-groove, for example, back in September. But it was shut down the same morning because of the weather conditions. So yeah, like when I can, I still go to party. But also, of course, I'm getting older, so it's like I really feel it. Like I need a week to recover, like fully recover. Like mentally and physically, it's like absolutely not the same as when I was 17, 18, 19 anymore. So it's a very hard thing, you know.
We're all like that.
Yeah.
Anyone else?
I'm curious. I know we've talked about this. I'm from the US and I did not know about this subculture as much. I don't really think it came there. So I was curious, where else did it spread? Like around all of Europe, or were there pockets?
It spreads a lot in Europe, of course. Like I mean, as I said, Italy, and we say that Holland. Then it started to get a little bit to Germany, and lately I've seen like since I think like 3-4 years, it spreads a lot in Asia. And I've seen some stuff in Africa, and yeah, so I think it's like becoming like a bit more a worldwide thing, because I remember that when I was talking about these subcultures even like 5-6 years ago, not a lot of, but even here in France, not a lot of people knew about it, at least in Paris, you know, like maybe more like in the south, but the south of France always been like more like ravey and not really hardcore and gabber. But for sure, I mean, if you talk to those people, they know. But it's something, yeah, that now it's developing a little bit worldwide, I would say. I mean, even in the US, I've seen that there are some hardcore party going on right now, New York, and big cities like that. So yeah, I hope it's not becoming too mainstream as a thing, but I mean, that's what we do, and yeah.
All right, anyone else? All right, that's it. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks
Have a
so
wonderful
much.
night. I'm gonna play some music again, have a couple of drinks.
Thank you.